Over the past year, Blizzard has had to weather several storms, with the latest shitshow coming in the form of Diablo Immortal. We all know that as a mobile game, it was destined from day one of its development to be driven by one or more forms of monetization. What I must admit though, is that I didn't expect them to go so far down the rabbit hole. So far it seems that they have destroyed what little was left of their reputation. But Diablo Immortal is not the focus of this video. Instead, I want to talk about Diablo IV, which I hope is a much better game for the consumer and is not infected with pay-to-win mechanics. My content normally revolves around Warhammer and its lore, but I have a fondness for Diablo, having spent more than, I'm ashamed to say, 6,500 hours in Diablo III. In recent years, I drifted away from the game, as I had certainly experienced all its content several times over. But from time to time I still feel the itch to play, and I believe Diablo IV will satisfy that need, and then some. I have been following the development blogs of Diablo IV for quite some time, and everything is looking promising. Though of course, the true test will be when we get our hands on the game. The recent reveal of the Necromancer as the 5th and final class at launch didn't really do anything for me. I was much more of a monk player during Diablo III, and unfortunately, they're not making an appearance, at least not yet. I'm also a little perplexed why we don't have a paladin or crusader class at launch. Hopefully it won't be too long before they show up in the game. I do, however, like the look of the spells that are available to the sorceress, and I must admit that the druid has me intrigued. From day dot, the aesthetic of the game has been a wonder. Its darker, grittier tone, much more suited to the franchise than the more cartoonish look of Diablo III. The graphical fidelity is impressive, and the wide variety of environments gives the game a feeling of scope that previous installments did not have. I also like the fact that they are changing how power works, taking a great deal from gear and putting it back onto your character. I believe Diablo III made the mistake of having gear mean everything, where you were what you wore, and your character could not survive a stiff breeze without your gear. The reworked Paragon system is also looking like a positive change. We as players will seemingly have much more choice in how Paragon is spent. But perhaps the aspect I'm looking forward to the most is seeing how an open world Diablo will work. Will they truly be able to give the player the freedom and sense of exploration that the devs have alluded to? So in many regards, Diablo IV has a lot of promise, but Diablo III's launch was riddled with issues. Its lack of any satisfying endgame was also disappointing, and the recent shitshow of Diablo Immortal raises concerns over how Blizzard may choose to monetize Diablo IV. Anything more than cosmetic transactions in the store would be a disaster. I just hope that the powers that be realize this and resist the temptation, no matter how strong, to try and fleece the players. With a release date sometime in 2023, though to be honest I would not be surprised if that was pushed back, we still have a long way to go. But as the launch of Diablo IV approaches, I will start spending more time covering the development of the game and delving into its lore. Not to worry though, as I'll still be covering Warhammer lore and news as I have for the past year. If you like the thought of me covering Diablo content, then why not click that like button, and if you haven't already, why not subscribe? I'd like to give a quick shout out to my patrons, thanks to Hot Apple Pie and Solareth Magnetar for their continued support, and I'd like to thank everybody who's watched my videos over the past year. I'm Grey Tiger, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.